Glory. Gravitas. 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 Glory. Gravitas.
All right.
Glory.
We are getting started very
Gravitas.
soon with a bit of Gravitas. Gravitas taking on Legacy.
Glory.
Just queuing up all the different channels, making sure they're working for some reason. Last time we had trouble with the old YouTube, but we are checking that all of the different channels are working. We are coming online.
Glory.
We are now available. Twitch is coming online very, very shortly. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the stream.
Glory.
My name is Sean Callanan. And yeah, we're looking forward to teaching everyone a little bit about the world of League of Legends. The next match coming up is Gravitas Vs Legacy. The match that we just saw was Mammoth versus Avant. That was a very big win in the world of Gravitas because we are in a battle with Avant for that 5th spot. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how things go. We've got 3 games. We're playing the 2 top teams and Avant. We have to get in front of Avant. Avant have the head-to-head against us. So I'm still just waiting. It's going perfectly on Facebook, on YouTube. Appears to be on our YouTube. So welcome to everyone on YouTube. And it is on LinkedIn, and Twitch is coming online. I'm just refreshing it a couple of times. It's coming online now. So welcome. Wherever you are, whatever channel you're on, wherever you are watching, welcome and get around it. Esports is still happening at the moment. All the teams are playing from home, and even the broadcast is happening from home. So we are seeing the broadcast happen from home, and even everything. It's all cloud based. So a lot of innovations happening at the OPL in the past week or so, the past 2 weeks in getting everything up and running. So congrats to everyone behind the scenes at the OPL. But really looking forward to a big game. There's 2 big days of OPL happening this weekend. 6 games. We just saw the first one. What you are seeing, and I've got to try to remember, what you are seeing up there is the OPL broadcast. You can catch that normally at Riot Games OS. And does it work? It seems to be working in the chat. Thank you very much, Blue Panda. Tell me if my audio is working. If Gravitas Glory is running a little bit hot, let me know. So that is the normal broadcast. You can normally watch that at Riot Games OS, twitch.tv/Riot Games OS. Up next, we are playing Legacy. Legacy are the top team, or the equal top team. I don't know what the head-to-head is against Chiefs. They are going to decide that tonight or the last game on Saturday. But Legacy are the top team. The last time we played them, we caused a big upset. So it is a big game. Legacy are a top quality lineup. It will be a tough game for our guys. But what I want to do before getting into this broadcast, while we have got some stuff happening and waiting for the games to start, what I will do is, so I don't miss any action, because last time I was doing my intros and I was trying to keep track of what's on my screen and what's on OBS and what's on the thing, and then I missed the start of the game, and I don't want to do that. So before I get into the game, I want to introduce the roster. The roster for today. League of Legends is a 5-person, 5v5 game, and there are 5 different positions. These are the 5 guys that you'll see playing today for Gravitas. So you have Parbu playing in the top lane, Pralis, our captain, who is the jungler. He plays in the jungle position. Suman is our mid laner. He plays in the mid lane. Puma is our ADC. He is the assassin. He plays in the bottom lane with his good friend K-pop. K-pop plays in the support position. So that's the team. I want to go through and give you a little bit about who the team is. As I said, Jordan Fernandez is our jungler. He is our captain. He's 20 years old. You can send him a tweet on twitter.com/PraylisOs. He's our captain. And then we have our returning All-Star, made a victorious return to the Gravitas lineup last week. 2-time All-Star. Parbu is known for taking out Faker, the world's best League of Legends player at All-Stars in Las Vegas 2 years ago. Google Parbu v Faker to see that highlight. Our mid laner is Suman. Suman, 22 years of age. He has been around the scene for a couple of years and has performed quite well in Split 1 for us here in the OPL, and really coming and having absolutely had some cracking games last week. Really popped off. We have got a lot of rookies in our roster, but this man is the youngest one. He turned 18 just a couple of weeks ago. Puma OCE is his Twitter account. Send him a tweet. He plays in the bottom lane, and he will be doing so this week with K-pop. Let me go to transition to K-pop. Jordan Hazeltine, 24-year-old. K-pop League is his Twitter account. He is one of 2 supports we have in the Gravitas roster. He will be teaming up in the bottom lane with Puma. But at Gravitas, we don't just have 5. A little bit quiet on my end here, but I just turn it up a little bit, and maybe I'll give it a little bit more energy. Turned it up a little bit there, Blue Panda. Thank you very much for the running commentary and assistance with the audio. I want to run through the roster, the rest of the roster, the rest of Gravitas squad. We have a support, Trashley, 20 years old. Trashley Os is his Twitter handle. Ashley White. He has been playing and swapping in and out with K-pop in the support position. We may see Trashley this week. We are playing 3 games, so stay tuned to see Trashley in the lineup. Also, someone that has played quite well in multiple positions is Beats. Beats 21, Beats Os, OCE is his Twitter handle. He has played in the mid lane and also played in the top lane for Gravitas this year. And I love a good reaction shot from Beats, keeping an eye on the rest of the lineup. Also, other members of our Gravitas squad, there's nobody. The worst name in the OPL because it is terribly hard to cast. I love you, Lachlan, but nobody gets a kill, nobody dies. Makes it really, really, really tough. But nobody has played top lane. He debuted in weeks 1 and 2, playing on with much aplomb. Before we move on, 2 more players. We've got ADC, Liam Jowett, Bambi on ice. Os is his Twitter handle. He joined us on the chat on the stream last week. He may join us again this week. Bambi, you can find, he is one of our most consistent streamers in the Gravitas lineup. You can follow his stream on a regular basis. There he is, Bambi. In the chat, you can say hello. And last but not least is Belong. Jimmy Woo, 19, Belong 1C. Has played a couple of games in the ADC position. And that is the Gravitas squad. 10 players for the whole team. It is a tough one to manage. And what we don't actually have one coach. We have 2 coaches. They'll be joining us on the chat later. Calvin Lee, he was our coach for our Split 2 last year. You can send him a tweet, Calvin Lee Os. And he is also joined by by Omo. Omo has been our stage coach and has been co-coaching with Calvin. You can send him a tweet, Omo2_2. Don't we have a good-looking lineup? I tell you, what a good-looking lineup and what a good-looking squad. So we are going to get into the game. And thank you very much for the updates on chat on which player you would marry. And you know, I can see that. I can see the things, the quotes and everything. Nobody looks good. I get the jokes, the nobody jokes. Everybody loves the nobody jokes. So what we're going to do today, again, I'm going to be checking LinkedIn where I'm streaming. Don't normally stream esports to LinkedIn, but why not? That's where the people want it. They need to figure out what esports is. I'm also on Facebook, and we are this week on YouTube. So, and as always, you can, if you're on Gravitas Twitch, twitch.tv.gravitasoce, that's the place. That's the place that I actually am watching the chat. I might go over here occasionally and quickly look at the chat and say hello to Anthony, who's given it a like on LinkedIn, or I might check Facebook and see what people are saying. But Twitch is where it's at. Twitch is where you consume esports. So we're going to get into the action very soon. The good thing is I've got the hangout there, so I know when something's happening. The guys will be in pick ban right now, most likely, and so this gives me a good chance to give you some info on the best website in the OPL. And that website would be gravitas.gg. Again, checking that my audio is still there. Is it a green screen? Is it a green screen? No, it's not a green screen. There we go. So now we want to, yep. As you can see, there's the handsome squad again, the 2020 squad, all 10 of them. You can check up at the latest news. You can watch the VODs, and here's the important piece: the ladder, three-way tie, Avant, Gravitas, and Pentanet. Gravitas, Avant lost their first game. We play Avant tomorrow. Let's worry about that tomorrow. Right now, we've got Legacy. And if we beat Legacy, we are in a really, 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 really good position. Don't forget, you can go to gravitas.gg, go up the top there, put in your email address. You've all got an email address. You all want to get good emails, find out more about Gravitas, find out about who's playing, find out more about them. It's the most read email newsletter in the OPL. Most read email. Let's get into it. We will get into it quite quickly. So that's it. Go to gravitas.gg. You can watch any of the VODs. I tend to agree. I think we're going to run the whole table if we beat Legacy. Blue Panda, I agree that it's in the script, it's in the cards, it's in my waters. I think everything is setting up for this point. So hopefully what's going to happen here, eventually we're going to throw to the game, and I'm going to be joined by people who actually know what they're talking about. It won't just be me, because I'm here to try to explain League of Legends to people who don't know it. And so what I wanted to do, I want to do this one, turn that one on, turn that one off. So this is Summoner's Rift. This is Summoner's Rift, everybody. This is the map. This is where the game will be played, and so we will learn more about this map. We'll learn more about it. Up the top left is the top lane. In the middle is the mid lane. And down below is the bot lane. And we are going to be throwing to the game very soon. I'm going to be joined by a caster. So I'm going to stop talking about Summoner's Rift, because I need to make sure that the McDonald's ad gets played. Because we want to support the OPL's terrific partners. And McDonald's, so go out, order some McDonald's, contact free delivery, Uber Eats, all of those things. We will get into it. I'm going to jump into my little Discord. Oh, and I'm gonna turn on this this one. And I'm going to say hello to my team in Discord. Who have we got there? Oh, hang on. You know what I have to do? I have to actually join it as well. There you go. Now I've joined it.
Hello. Welcome, Sean.
Oh my gosh, hello.
Hello. So we have got,
We're
and
in.
I'm going to go to a full screen here, and we're now in Champ Select. And welcome to Trashly.
Hello, I'm here.
And Viella. Am I saying your
Yeah.
name right?
Oh, Viella preferred.
Viella. All right, well, we'll get it right.
Viola.
So
Yeah.
we're in pick ban here.
Mhm.
Trashly, you've been part of some of the conversations here. Do you want to have a look at what's happening right now?
Okay.
What's on the Gravitas side? Who have we locked in so far?
We have locked in Set first pick, and then they've locked in a couple characters, and then we've locked in Callista Tarek afterwards. Pretty good character, pretty good like round lineup so far from us. We scale quite well, so we're gonna do well late into the game, and
Yep.
I think we have a strong early game as well.
Okay.
Like
And-
all round, I'm really enjoying our comp.
And V,
It looks really similar. Oh,
Go-
sorry. I was
yeah,
just
go.
going to say that it's very similar to last week's lineup as well, because they played Set Callista and Tarek. This time, however, the enemy team at Legacy have actually banned out the Wukongs and the LeBlanc there. So
Yeah.
obviously they have to choose two different champions. So what do you think would actually be a little bit more to bring the teams together? What do you think, Trashly?
Overall, I think Suman has been banned out, which is a bit unfortunate, but he has a lot of like counter picks ready. So like be prepared to see like maybe I don't know if Cassidy would necessarily be good into Syndra, but he's been wanting to play that.
Yep.
So we'll see. I think that would be really cool to see that.
So to explain it to people like myself that still only know some of these as
Right.
the characters that I I know Yumi. You've played Yumi quite well on stage.
I have played
Trash.
Yumi.
You have
Yep.
played Yumi quite well. That's the cat one that's been banned there.
Yeah.
This stage is all about picking the different champions and counter picking based on what their skills are, and different picks have let me get this right, are better at different stages of the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, pretty much. We see on Legacy side they picked Syndra, which is going to likely go mid lane.
Yep.
And as a result, we're looking to counterpick that as our mid laner is picking after them. And yeah, they picked the Cassidy as our mid laner.
Okay.
So yeah, we
I
know what
think
we want.
What do
I
you think,
what
V?
we would. I'm thinking because for those that don't know, Syndra is a very bursty type champion, meaning that there's a lot of times where you can be 100 to 0 by this particular champion
Yep.
in terms of overall abilities. Cassidy, however, is a little bit more scaling, and throughout majority of the time, he doesn't actually get bursted as easily as most other champions, which is why this one looks pretty good for Suman here.
Okay.
Yeah. Syndra, like Tally, gonna be doing a lot of magic damage in comparison. Like Cassidy, quite good against that. His Q absorbs magic damage. He gets inherent like not magic resist, but he gets like inherent resistances essentially through his passive.
Yep. So
And
explain.
so-
So explain. I'm going to stop. Explain what you
yeah,
mean by his passive.
His passive, I would have to look it up. I don't remember exactly, but I believe
reduces
passive-
magic damage by 15%.
Oh, there
Yeah,
we go. And welcome
exactly.
to the
Thank
welcome
you.
to the cast,
God
Calvin.
bless, it's my coaches.
And we got, so we'll just have a quick coaches call. We're looking at the champ select there. Welcome to Omo and Calvin. What did you go? Yeah, take us through the lineup so far. And yeah, what do you think of the draft?
I like
Leo,
it.
do you want to start off?
Yeah, go Leo. Omo.
Okay, excellent conversation, Omo.
No, we've lost. We're not got audio for you, Omo, for some reason.
There he is.
Oh, okay.
Hello, is this
Hello.
better?
Yeah, that's better.
better.
And
That's
he's back.
better.
All right. Yeah, it's a little risky. We took some risk, but
Yep.
hopefully they pay off.
I like it.
Yeah, and where's the,
Yeah.
explain the risk? Where's the risk? Is the risk in the comp or the timing of the game? Where's the risk?
It's in the comp, it's in
Yep.
the timing we need to play around,
Yep.
and it's in execution as well. So Callista Tarek is one of the best bot lanes in the meta. It's really just strong.
Yep.
For lack of a better word, like it's oppressive. It does a lot. but it's hard to execute, and it depends on how well they play it. Next is the Kassadin, which is
Who's
a
playing that?
really slow. Suman's playing Kassadin, yeah.
Yep.
So it's a really hard carry champion, but the problem is that it's really slow.
Yep.
It's basically useless before he gets his ultimate at level 6.
Yep.
And even then, he's not that strong. He needs some time to get online, get some items, get some levels. So he's gonna be pretty weak until, like, I would say 20 minutes or so in the game, at least, or 15 to 20 minutes in the game.
Yeah,
so
so
it's-
essentially, he's like a high risk, high reward champion where
Yeah.
he's essentially nothing better than like he's not even like he's probably just as strong as like a minion
Yep.
at level at the early levels, and then eventually he will scale into a monster that is pretty much unstoppable, and he can just carry games on his own.
So,
I-
I'm going to turn off the Gravitas Glory right in the background. So in that sense, is it a bit of other players have to play well in the early game to help Suman to be a big threat later in the game? Is that how it is at the minute?
Yeah,
Very much
essentially
so.
like that. So the game revolves around pretty much just not collapsing early game, and Suman will eventually scale to a point where the enemy team just cannot stop him.
Okay. I'm guessing were you guys watching the previous game from knowing that we're in this battle with AV? What were your thoughts watching the previous game, AV and Mammoth?
Personally, I super enjoyed that match. It was very back and forth towards the end, and we're like really scared, but we were rooting for Mammoth. Like
Yep.
I was watching very closely, just like please Mammoth, please win it for us.
Yeah.
And they did. They came through clutch when we needed them most, and so big respect to a lot of their players like Baz and Maboma, and Lived played really well. Like good on them all.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
thought they nearly we were
Yeah,
we were
they
really
nearly
Yeah.
throw the game.
Yeah.
Through the game. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much to Calvin and Omo. I know you guys want to watch this game properly and not be distracted by stupid questions from me. But best of luck. I'll speak to you guys later and tomorrow. Enjoy the game, and hopefully we'll be celebrating a Gravitas win and have a giant victory screen with all of the squad on it later in the
Oh
day.
yes.
Thanks, Sean.
No worries.
Thank you.
Bye.
So
Bye.
V and Trashly, we're in the
Yep.
we're in the early game.
Yep.
Trashly, this is in the bottom lane right now. This is where you
Yes, it's my
play,
domain.
right? So you're in the K-pop. You play the same position as K-pop. Explain to everyone watching what K-pop is trying to do in working with Puma here.
So, So overall, Callista Tarek, as Calvin and Omo said, very strong early. So they
Yep.
want to be like putting pressure down. And so far, they're not quite doing as well as they could be. They've gone for more defensive summoner spells. Like
Yep.
the Callista has gone barrier, while K-pop has gone heal, as
Yep.
opposed to they could have gone ignite if they wanted to play more aggressive early. So obviously they've decided, maybe that's not the play. We can just like sit, chill, let the Kassadin in mid lane just scale up and play for the mid to late game as opposed to the early game.
Yep.
And like I say that Callista Tarek are good early game, they're still good mid and late.
Yep.
Tarek's ultimate allows his entire team to be invincible for like 2.5 seconds. It's really strong.
Yep.
And it should not be slept on. So they're okay to chill.
And the thing is, I mean, I discussed on last week's match, how a bot lane can be really important early game, but if they don't make the right calls early, they can still get back into the game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for
absolutely correct.
Yeah, because I think that was what sort of happened. Sort of recapping last week, I think one of the games, I think it was the Pentanet game, the Trashly and Puma, you sort of fell back. Oh, hang on, call the game when something's exciting happening. It looks like something's happening.
Okay, so
Oh,
what's happening
okay.
at the moment is that the enemy ADC are currently trying to get onto them as well, because we saw that they are on the defensive side there, so they can take more advantage of it. And burning those types of summoners just means the next time that they go for that type of gank, there's going to be a little bit more of a success there.
It could have
'cause-
gone. It could have gone a lot better for Legacy. They missed a
Yeah.
few of their abilities, but Raze, the Aphelios, played that like fairly well. Like he tried to bait out the stuff. He walked forward a bit too much to make Gravitas think, oh yeah, we can kill him. He's overextended, but Trundle a bit was waiting.
But that was a
Yeah.
3v2. Like that was the classic
Yeah.
where you're trying to get in and outnumber. We
Mhm.
see.
Yeah.
Well, And we're
So good on
and
Gravitas for being aware of that and backing off.
oh, we can be completely biased here, Trashly. We can cheer and everything. It's our channel.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like
Okay, in that case.
yeah.
Well, in that case, then Legacy really stuffed that up.
Oh, okay.
No, in that case,
That-
Legacy are amazing.
Yeah.
Nah, we're just joking. No, but
Okay.
overall, like what you want to be able to do, like Trashly said earlier, like the whole point of it is to bait the enemy team, so everybody knows what baiting is.
Yep.
So because Ray stepped too far forward, Gravitas were able to realize that something fishy was going on and had the time to react.
Yep.
Whereas if they were a little bit more patient, they would have been able to take more of advantage of what was happening in that situation.
Pabu might. Oh, he's giving him a couple of whacks. He's bullying Topun around a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, so that was a really good exchange there because both flashes were taken as well. So like it would have been a lot better in the sense that he was able to get that kill, but
Yep.
having him be at this much health just means that Topun can't actually be as aggressive as he'd want to be until he starts until he gets that ultimate off and even a little bit more of a backup from the jungler. But he's on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, so when we hear someone say, "Oh, he burnt some flashes," that's he's used some of his he's used the flashes, so he can't use them in the next fight. So he might have to run away, or he's potentially in danger when the next fight happens because he doesn't have that trick in his bag, effectively. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the difference between their spells that they have is that unlike Pabu, Topun doesn't have teleport available, meaning that if there is some kind of skirmish that's happening on the opposing side of the map, Pabu's going to be able to meet with the rest of his team and make that more to their side in terms of numbers than that of Topun, who doesn't have that.
Yeah, that's really good by Pabu because we blew our flashes bot on K-pop, so they would have wanted to focus bot lane, but now they can't as easily because one, we have teleport advantage. So if they fight, sorry about my dog.
That's all right.
So if we were to fight bot lane, we can TP and they can't, and that's actually like massive for us. It means they can't do too much bot lane, and also they may want to focus top now because Pabu used his flash, and so that gives bot lane a lot of room to breathe considering we were behind.
Yep. And so what's happening here? Legacy's taking the first dragon. This is one of the objectives, and these are objectives that I guess progress the game.
So there's this elemental dragons.
Yep.
And each element provides a different type of buff to the entirety of the team that gets it. So the one that we just saw there is the Cloud Dragon.
Yep.
So Cloud Dragon provides.
Oh, it's popping off down it. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
K-pop just got tapped.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. As I was saying, he doesn't have flash, so they want to focus on him.
Yep.
At some point, Pabu appears to have teleported top. So I guess at that point we didn't have the advantage, and so it makes it a bit harder to proactively or not proactive, reactively teleport when we see the Trundle.
And so Puma just sort of pulls back and try to hide under the tower a little bit because he's outnumbered at the minute, and this is where Raze and Isles will give a crack at the tower, and every time they get one of those plates, it's like 400 gold or something, isn't it?
So a certain amount each time.
And so the gold allows you to go buy more items and scale up quicker. That's the whole idea. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And Raze's character, very good late games. This is kind of scary for Gravitas. They've gotten an early lead on a character that generally is weaker early and then scales up.
Okay.
So
where are you seeing that? Like, where does someone? Because we've got all these things on the board. Where do you
we have
see
a lot
the
of
lead?
stats, yeah.
So explain some of the stats, V. What Trash is saying.
So at the bottom, when Trashly's talking about who has a lead, we're looking at. So at the bottom, there you see this scoreboard.
Yep.
From the top is obviously top, jungle, middle, and the bot lane, so ADC and support. So we can see on the right-hand side, Raze is Aphelios, which is the second character to last, and he has the lead. So that's showing their KDA, kills, deaths, and assists.
And when you say the lead, you're looking at that 81 to 72, yeah?
Yep. So that means he's got more money over to him. So everybody knows the saying, more money, more power, because he can buy more items that help him in terms of overall power and scaling here. Whereas on the opposing side, we can see that he's actually behind, Puma's behind CS, and he doesn't have that kill either. So there's a little bit of a gold difference at the moment. Oh, so
hang on. Are we going to get something around the Rift Herald? Is Prayless going to come and...
They are looking to contest it. I'm not sure if they can.
But there does appear to be a bit of grouping around there to see if they can get it.
Yeah,
And
so it's a little
they're
bit
looking.
difficult for them to get in there because there's already 3 of them in the pit, and we
Yeah.
did see that Tally was moving up from the middle lane as well. Without any vision there wasn't really a way for them to get around and try to sneak that away from them, so they did the best thing that they could and just kind of pulled back and not
Yeah.
take any risks at all.
You
So,
can
yeah.
consider that fight like a 3v4, considering Puma was under his tower having
Yep.
to farm, so he wasn't able to reach the rest of his team. They were all kind of split up, and Puma decides, I need the farm, and I doubt we can fight anyway because we scale up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, which I think is correct.
Yeah. So at the moment, there's a little bit of playing safe. If you're looking for, who's winning, you can say, okay, one killed and no kills. You can say they've got a little bit of a gold lead. Like Legacy's a little bit in front, but it's still
Yeah.
Gravitas is still playing relatively safe, not to fall behind too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Because you said earlier in the game that even if the bot lane is behind, they have a way to get back into the game when they start moving with the team and start supporting each and every other member instead of just each other here. So what we're seeing here is that they've actually moved from the bottom lane up into the top
Yep.
just to try and get a little bit more CS to their side, a little bit more gold.
Yep.
Unfortunately for them, however, Legacy realized that they also want to be doing that, so they try to deny them as much as possible here.
And so,
Especially
yeah.
with the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and so the swaps happened, and so Parbu's come down the bottom, and so's Topoon, and
Yeah.
they're fighting down the bottom lane
Yeah.
now. So it's effectively just that full swap.
They're wanting to swap back at some point, just because they want to swap around the objective. They Legacy took Dragon, and so that takes another 5 minutes until it respawns and
Yep.
comes back into the game. And at that point, the Rift Herald would have existed, which they tried to contest and it didn't at the end of the day because they just didn't have the priority. But yeah, that's why they swapped, is mainly for the Rift Herald, and now that's gone, so they could swap back for the Dragon when that's up if they decide to contest it or not, which is up to them.
So
Exactly.
shout out to Purdue's in the chat. He says the team base scores are up the top, and then the bottom down,
Yeah.
the ones that are down to assess the matchups, because the individual matchups, because like we spoke with Calvin on that before. Suman later in the game could cause something. Is Praelis gonna get a kill here?
It looks like he's
it's
trying to
I
put
think
as
it's
much as
doable.
possible.
Oh, Suman got it.
Yep.
So
that's really good for us. Yeah.
Why is that good for Suman to get it, not Praelis? So I'm completely honest.
Because Cassidy, he needs the gold straight
Okay.
up. Like,
So
if
every time
Cassidy gets
you
the money,
take someone down, you effectively take some gold off them. Is that
yeah.
right?
So because Suman got the kill, he
Yep.
gets the gold, and Praelis gets a partial amount because he
Yep.
gets an assist on the kill. But
Yep.
overall, they want the money to be funneled into the Cassidy and into Suman, just
Yep.
because
Oh,
if he gets strong enough, they can't deal
Oh,
with him.
there's 3v2 here. Suman going to Raze has gone
this is-
golden. I'm going to ask what
oh
that
no,
means
the
later.
TPs are coming in.
And Puma's got Raze. That's a good win. But what's happening next,
Okay.
Niles?
Unfortunately for Gravitas, they had 2 teleports coming from the rest of the team. So
Yeah.
from what seemed to be something that was going to be a 2v2, kind of
Yep.
just turned into
A
a
4v2.
Yeah, it just turned more to Legacy side here. And because now they won that fight and they got the overall advantage, they're going to pop that Rift Herald. So this Rift Herald here, we're talking about the giant beetle-looking thing.
Yep.
It crashes down towers very easily. And once the towers get pushed down, more of the map is to the advantage of Legacy's side here. So if you see it crash into there, how much damage was actually taken down, it's huge.
Yeah, so Raze went golden there. What does that mean when that happens? Because I've seen that happen. I don't quite know what that means.
So when they go golden, it's called it could be either the stopwatch or Zonya's. Stopwatch is you essentially become invulnerable, so nobody can touch you, and any skill shot, anything in terms of like abilities from either side, it makes you invincible pretty much for how many seconds is it, Trashly?
3 seconds.
For
or
3
2.5.
seconds. Yeah, or 2.5 there. So that means that the overall engage that they wanted from that was completely denied by them because he was invulnerable, and it allowed the rest of the team to follow up, use those teleports to just turn it more to their side and get even more of an advantage.
Okay,
Yep.
so right now, look, reassessing the game. The Legacy just went and got another dragon, an infernal dragon. Yes, have I got that right?
Yep, that's right.
Specifically, they got a mountain dragon.
Yep.
From now on, it'll be only infernal dragons spawning.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, that's right. So sorry.
Why is that?
So, After the second dragon is killed, the map changes to be the element of the next dragon that spawns, and
Okay.
then only that dragon will spawn. So after Legacy or Gravitas get 4 dragons,
Yep. Then it's
they
soul.
would then get
Yep.
or if they then they get the soul, which
Yep.
would be the infernal soul, which would just give them like straight up like damage on hitting things.
So
Like
the dragons will force effectively Gravitas, our hand in this case, to
Yeah.
challenge for an important dragon, so we can get a win condition of some sort, can't we?
Pretty much. Legacy's win condition at the moment is looking like dragon, so they've got essentially they get another dragon in 5 minutes, and then another one after that in 5 minutes following that dragon. And our win condition is basically Cassidy. If
Yep.
we get him to level 16, that is when he is the strongest, and he's
Okay.
level 11 at the moment.
Yep. And so that's on
so we've
that's
got a
on
bit
the
of
left.
ways.
That's on the left in the middle. There's
Yeah.
humans there.
Mhm.
That number there, 11. That's the one we want to keep, and so he becomes pretty nasty at level
Yeah.
16.
Level
Yeah,
11
that's
is quite like solid already, and with a
Yep.
kill, like he's not weak at the moment.
Yep.
He has got to the point where he is like a relevant character, but he's still got a ways to go. And considering that Legacy have a fairly sizable gold lead in general, like at the top, they've got it looks like about 3.5k over us.
Yep.
So even though Cassidy is fairly strong at the moment, like because of Legacy's gold lead, it will take a bit longer before he can like really turn the tide of the game.
Okay.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, there is a level cap. So we're talking about level 16
Yep.
here. He's currently level 11, but the max level that you can become is 18.
Okay.
Yep.
There seems to be a bit of bunching around.
Oh,
K-pop looks like he's in trouble here.
Yeah, he Babip has Trundle, which has a pillar, and that kind of caught him off guard when he doesn't. Oh, and then Bard ulti on Puma, but Puma seems to be okay, so nothing quite happens off that.
Yep. So a lot of the ultimates were burnt down in that particular fight, meaning the next type of engage, obviously they can't use those again because
Yep.
every ability that you have has a cooldown there. Excuse me. So we're looking at here, they're trying to siege the middle tower,
Yep.
but obviously without the minions allowing them to take those tower shots, they have to back out a little bit.
Yep. And so it's pretty much left the Rift Herald, second Rift Herald for Legacy to go and grab.
Mm-hmm. Especially because they have the priority. So you can see, I don't know if you, so you can see like these things called wards there.
Yep.
So they're the tiny little things. They have like a duration of how long they can last, and it provides vision for whoever places them for that entire team. So having that vision around just allows you to know
You can be
what's
another
happening
part.
around the map.
Yeah, you can be on other parts of the map and know that someone's going to go for the dragon or go for the Baron, that kind of stuff. And so
Exactly.
So when you're playing the game, that conversation's happening to say, hey, we're going to go over here. We know what's happening, and that's what's happening on comms in the game right now.
Yeah. So because they can see, so for Legacy, they have a lot of vision down, so they know that they're not in that section here.
Yep.
We'll use this as an example. So right now, Pabu can see that they're taking this gromp because of the blue.
Yep.
That just shows that it's the blue team side that has placed that ward. So everybody on the blue team can see that they have just taken the gromp there. So they don't want to go anywhere near that place because they know that's probably other people there. Because there's no way that the enemy team is going to be on your side of the map without somebody else being there to back them up in case any fights break loose.
Okay. So we're sort of now moving into this. Is this more mid game now? That's big. That again, it's starting to position and get that appropriate vision around the map to try to figure out what the next steps are.
Yep. This is mid game. So at this point, Gravitas, they still want to keep farming up, but they are strong enough to now consider contesting the objectives instead of just like handing them over, being like, okay, well, we're stronger later, because now it is later.
Yeah.
This is the part where they can do stuff. So they're looking on Pabu.
Yep.
Good dodge by him.
Yep. And they're trying to gang up on Pabu. Where's everybody else right now?
Sumin's just getting solo experience to try and get his levels topside. And then the rest of Gravitas is looking to defend this next tower. Because the Legacy threw down the Rift Herald, so they want to like try and push and maybe open up an inhib or take the inhib.
Yeah,
and it looks like they will.
Yeah, and so that's here where they're going to start.
Legacy's just trying very hard to like get momentum before the Cassidy gets strong. Like they're trying really hard right now to,
like they effectively want to finish this game in 26, 27 minutes.
Yeah, if if they can't get like 4 dragons and like
Yep.
go as their win condition being the Dragon Soul,
Yep.
then they'll just try and end through the Rift Heralds. But they have no more Rift Heralds now,
Yep.
and we've got 5 minutes after they kill this this dragon for the next one. So we have a bit of breathing room now, unless Legacy look to the Baron, which will spawn in 20 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
that's
what
where
we're looking-
that's where the next fight will be.
Yep.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is because there's no objectives on the board, and because Legacy want to end this game as much as possible, they want to try to provide as much pressure onto Gravitas here.
Yep.
Because as Trashley has been saying from the beginning, Sumin is on this Cassidon champ, which means as he hits level 16, he's going to be almost an unstoppable force here. And so they want to try to end the game quickly. Hopefully what we're looking for here as a Gravitas kind of
Yep.
team base here is that we want to be able to see them get a little bit too desperate in making these calls, trying to force these fights that aren't going to end up too good for them. So we are seeing at the bottom, we noticed earlier that they all tried to gang up on Parby, but they weren't
Yep.
able to kill him. So they're going to try to get a lot of these situations where they can try to single out one particular person.
So if they
try to
misclick
miss-
and don't quite get it, in that case they got Topoon. So Topoon got K-pop, so it's 4v5, and now
Mhm.
they've gone and
Prayless is
chased down
better.
Prayless. Like
Yeah.
They
that's
get the Baron here. Like
Yeah.
they can't contest anymore. It's 3v5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
the-
the type of things that Legacy want to be doing. They want to catch out one individual member from Gravitas
in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
in the
yeah.
wrong spot,
Yeah.
and then
And they
try to
have-
push for even more. So we're taking the Baron.
Yeah, they have a lot of tools to catch out. The Bard ulti is essentially you can throw it at someone and it'll make them Zonya's / stopwatch, make them invulnerable, which you
Yep.
would think is a good thing, but they're stationary and they can't move. So then Legacy can catch up to them after the invulnerability wears off and they're a sitting duck essentially. And Syndra Stun's also good, and then Trundle has like a pillar that slows. So those
Yep.
are the tools they're using to like secure all these objectives.
And at the
So
moment,
now-
they've got the Baron
yeah.
buff. That's what the purple glow
Yeah.
is, and so
Yeah,
it's
so
giving
the
them a bit more damage. And what they're trying to do, they're going to try to open up the top part of the base.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So even the minions get extra damage as well. Can you see them taking down the tower a lot
Yep.
faster than the
Yep.
other towers that were taken down?
Yep.
So right now Gravitas aren't in a really good position in order to fight back here. They just want to try to be as defensive as possible, try to stick together because of what ultimates that they do have available, and try to protect each other from that. Because as soon as more than two members get taken down, they're going to be able to end the game and just push through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like Gravitas are just going to need to forfeit 3 inhibs here.
Yep.
Hopefully Legacy back off here. They should, but we'll see. After they take this, they might try and end. If they don't end here, it's kind of good for us because the more inhibs that are down for us means more minions will flood in. So we can
Yep.
essentially like funnel our Cassidon, giving him a ton of XP and he'll hit 16. And they are
Okay.
bleeding.
Yep.
So
So that's where the term "every game is winnable" comes from, because
Yep.
even though all of our inhibs have been taken down, our
Yep.
base is pretty much wide open. It just means that all these minions are going to be coming through, means all of this gold's going to be coming through,
Yep.
and there's no way that Legacy can stop these minions from coming
Yep.
onto our side. So it's just a bunch of free gold there.
So when you're having that conversation, Trashly, like
Mhm.
why didn't they push harder to finish it?
It's a little too risky for them. They
Yep.
they had a chance to, but like they had used a lot of their resources. They used
Yep.
their ultimates. They
Yep.
used some of their mana. They were a bit low on health potentially.
So it could flip really quickly. Like someone
Yeah.
misclicks, someone
Yeah.
gets a kill, and then it's
Yeah.
5v4, and we potentially go bang bang bang, and it's like flips the
Yeah.
game really quickly. So that's
And it can flip very quickly with a Cassidon as
Yeah.
well. And also another thing to consider is now that we have 3 inhibs down,
Yep.
they have a lot of pressure on us. We can't really
Yep.
leave our bases easily, and the Soul Dragon's coming up shortly, so they can like just wait for that, and that's a really strong win condition for them, and they should get that pretty easily.
So they're putting a bit more pressure. K-pop's gone down again, and they're going to push into the base. Puma's under a lot of pressure at the minute. He's gone down.
Yeah, it looks like it's over, unfortunately.
So it looks like a fight was tried for.
Yep.
Like a TP even came down just to try to get that extra support. But of course, mispositioning can mean like a huge difference as well. And if the play that they're going for doesn't execute properly, there's a lot of things that can just snowball in the opposite direction for them and just end up being a loss here.
Yep. And that's it. That's it for the game. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Trashly. V, where can
Glory.
people find you on the internet? If we
Oh,
were to send
me?
yes, where can they find you on the
Okay,
internet?
so they can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Viella_B, like the bumblebee.
Like the
If you
bumblebee
guys
with
want,
with two
yeah,
e's.
yeah, like the bumble. Yep, that's
Yep.
me. My Twitch is also EV_B. I've actually sent a few of my viewers over here just for additional support,
Oh,
so
you're
they
awesome.
already know who I am.
Yes.
Because I have worked with Gravitas before, so we're quite
Yep.
familiar with the overall organization. And Trashly and I, we're pretty close friends, so we're always like making sure that
Yeah.
we're supporting each other in any way possible. I'm really disappointed you're not playing, but hopefully might see you next game. Question
Maybe.
mark?
Maybe.
Next week I'll
That's-
put in a thought to the coaches. And
That's the
we
thing.
can-
We
we'll
got
see
we got
what
a
can
whole
happen.
squad. We got a whole squad. There's still 2 more games.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We try to keep things fresh and change it up. So yeah, we don't quite know.
We got
What
like
I'm gonna
27 players.
yeah, exactly. So we're gonna see. We're gonna maybe see, and I've asked if we can get some of the players to jump on the call to just have a bit of a recap of the game.
Oh, let me interview K-pop.
Yeah. Let's see if they.
Just be like, how can you not play support better than me? Okay.
No, we don't have that
No,
kind of.
no.
We don't have that kind of talk in at Gravitas. So
Gravitas.
I
Yeah.
will wrap this up, but we'll see if some of the guys will join us. It is not over.
That's Suman.
Oh, there's people here.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Hey,
Oh my
Suman,
god.
Hello.
what did you think of that game? We didn't quite get you to level 16.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
pretty much.
What were was there any particular points in the game that you thought were critical?
I think we just play too defensively.
Yep.
I think sometimes we can just because the other team think we can fight in early game, so we can have this concept. We can just stay somewhere to find a chance to kill them, and make our game easier for late game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Trashly, you wanted to ask a question?
Not necessarily. I think just in general, we if like
If
one
you're
way.
not asking a question, if you're just going to make a statement, I'll put that to the side. I'll be like ScoMo.
Okay.
Say,
Yeah.
I know someone else has a go. Prayless, what were your thoughts on the match?
It was alright. Like we had a plan, but I think we weren't disciplined enough in some areas, and then other areas, I think sometimes we fought too much, sometimes we didn't fight enough. I think.
Yeah, a bit in between.
Yeah.
I mean, Omo did
Yeah.
say at the start, it was big risk, big reward. Is that sort of how the game sort of went? You're
Yeah,
muted.
somewhat.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, like we're pretty much waiting 16 levels to an extent, so it is a big risk. But once we get to that reward, like
It's so
the game
satisfying.
should be ours.
So tomorrow we've got 2 games. Parbu, how are you feeling about taking on AV tomorrow at 4 o'clock?
I'm not too worried personally. It's just another game for us, and I think we're perfectly capable of taking the victory. It is an important game, but nonetheless, I trust in the boys. So I think it's gonna be good fun.
Definitely. Puma, what about yourself? What did you think of your game? What do you think you could have done or could have done better?
I think I could have laned a little bit better, so we didn't have to bleed too much early. But
Yep.
I think at a certain point I think we bled too much, so it's pretty hard to do.
Okay, so this is a group question, and it's part of group therapy. How do you shake off this game? Because we've got 2 more games tomorrow. What do you do to get yourself ready for the game tomorrow? Anyone? I'll start with you. Start with you, K-pop, if you're still there, because we've got 2 K-pops there, have we?
Yeah. I think we just try and do a quick review of our mistakes. I think most of us know we just played a bit too passive.
Yep.
I think we had our mindset of we just want to scale, and that was just in our head way too much. So just I don't think we take too much from this game. We don't overthink it. We just play what we've planned all week and go into tomorrow fresh.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. All the best for tomorrow.
Gravitas.
Still going to play some Gravitas Glory because we're going to come back tomorrow and 2-0.
Gravitas.
So thank you very much. I'll leave you to it. And I think that's going to be a good enough time to wrap up. V and Trashly, thank you very much for joining me on the
Glory.
on the stream today.
Gravitas.
Sean?
And thank you to everyone who was who joined us on the chat. Follow the rest of the OPL
Glory.
this weekend. I'm going to send everybody to Right Games OS. Watch the rest of the OPL,
Glory.
and we'll wait to see what happens for the rest of this split. We'll be back at 4 o'clock tomorrow for AV and
Gravitas.
6 o'clock tomorrow for Chiefs.
Glory.
We'll see you then.
Bye.
Gravitas.
Bye, guys.
Glory. Gravitas. Glory.